Yo, 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 yo. It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Each one teach one. Reporting live from the Dogon. You know what it is. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Shout out to the good folks at Fine Southern Gentleman Apparel for the shirt. Yeah. Another session of Mac Minutes. You know what it is. Today, you know, there's with the rise of Kevin Samuels and how ubiquitous and ever present this whole gender war, these gender dynamics between black men and black women, men and women in general, but specifically black men and black women. This is a hot topic. I guess we're always trying to find best ways to relate, navigate, not get hurt, have healthy dealings with the opposite sex. Some of us just want to get over. But anyway, I want to talk about black women. This whole thing about femininity and I'll be feminine for the right man and blah, blah, blah. I want to dig deeper into that. This session of Mac Minutes will be entitled, Have Black Women Not Been Allowed to Be Feminine? Has their femininity been usurped from them, stolen, I don't know, repurposed? So yeah, I want to quote W.B. Du Bois. He said, "No other group of women could have endured such a hellish fire." Speaking in context of black women, yeah, no other race of women could have endured such a hellish fire. Speaking in context of black women, from slavery, Jim Crow, vagrancy laws, you know, everything that happened in the context of Dr. Du Bois's life. No other group of women could have dealt with that and met that and overcame it. Yes, black women overcame it, but a lot of trauma reverberated from that. I think, you know, from the time that we came over here via transatlantic slave trade, I feel like black women, their womanhood was ripped up underneath them, and I feel like men, our manhood was ripped out from underneath us. I think from the time that we got here, we have been in a total identity crisis. As far as now, I think it's worse than it's ever been. Yeah, you know, and now we're literally living in a time where gender is becoming more and more fluid. A lot of people are identifying how they see fit. I'm not knocking that. I'm not transphobic. Do you? But I think now we're like in this weird space where everybody's trying to become self-defined and they're trying to figure out, what do I do? How do I interact? What am I? I would say that a lot of times, no, stop. At its core, I do feel like black women have not been allowed to be as feminine as other women. I think the imagery of a black woman, it's either been, you're a mammy, you're big mama, you don't have a life of your own, you pretty much just sacrifice for everybody on the family tree. You know, you're a God-fearing woman, you're supposed to endure all the vicissitudes of life and take it on the chin. You're the mammy, you're the nurturer, and you're the burden bearer. Or you're the sapphire, you got an attitude, you're disagreeable, you're not pleasant to be around, you're really snappy, sassy, whatever. And then another dynamic actually would be the hypersexuality. You're sexually charged, you're a hoe. You have no self-control over your sexual desires. I think those things have been foisted, those images have been foisted upon black women. And unfortunately, a lot of times images control people's reality. People, there's a saying, laws don't rule the world, signs and symbols and images do. So yeah, with the imagery from, again, media, print media, film, social media, reality TV, there is a context that our women, the behavior patterns of our women are often broadcast in a very negative light. She's a gold digger, she's a hoe, or, you know, she's not romantic, she's just, you know, she's the nurturer and the burden bearer, she's the mammy. And I think those images have impacted black women. I think black women have seen other races of women that you know, especially white women, Latino women, even Asian women, other races of women varying, where they're allowed to rest in their femininity. They can be women. You know, they can be provided luxuries. They can be the kept woman. Whereas the black women, she had to fight all her life. What was it saying? All my life I had to fight. Like, that's been the context for a lot of black women. So unfortunately, I feel like a lot of black women, they've always felt like they've had to carve out their space and fight for their existence. And they've had to fight for the right to even be women. And I honestly think, or feminine, and I honestly think, you know, shout out to Gloria Stein, the CIA agent that was a part of the feminist movement. I think feminism crept in under that premise. Because if you really look at it, white women had a problem with white men. And that was the impetus behind the feminist movement. But let me dig deeper. I feel like, again, that the feminists, they sold a struggle to black women. A lot of black women bought into it. And here we are, where I felt like a lot of black women felt like their struggle was not intertwined with that of black men, and that black men were actually oppressing them. Now, you could say maybe in the household a black man could be oppressive, but as far as systemically, institutional-wise, nothing could be further from the truth. Further from the truth. Black men lack the institutional power. Black men lack the collective compound power base to negatively impact the social and political realities of black women. We don't have that type of power. Even though you have this false premise that black men are the white men of black society, whatever. But yeah, let's dig into it. A lot of times I think people say the separation of the black family, it started with the welfare state. I say it goes back farther than that. I would say slavery was abolished in 1865. Around 1865, we went into Reconstruction. We're newly freed. We're freed. Around the same time, 1865, black code laws are established. Vagrancy laws are established. Check out the book Slavery by Another Name. Essentially, during the context of this time, a black man could be arrested for not having a job. What happened? Not only could he be arrested, but what would happen, some of these white men, they would actually arrest these black men and say, look, you either give us free labor, or we're either going to kill you, or we're going to let you rot away in jail. Rot away in jail, or be murdered, or work for free. I guess I'm just going to work for free because I don't want to be in jail and I don't want to die. So just the image of the black man, his ability to be self-sustainable, was ripped from underneath him, was usurped from him. His manhood, socially, politically, economically, was usurped from him. He was not able to be that provider on a grand scale like he should have been, like he desired to be, like any sound man desires to be. So in lieu of that, black women had to step up and go even harder. So you're dealing with black men, the destabilized, targeted, and put more weight on black women. And it's almost like, imagine being a point guard. No, imagine being a shooting guard. You're a shooting guard, but your point guard goes down. Now, if you know basketball, you know the job of the point guard is to be the facilitator of the offense. The shooting guard just does his thing and shoots. But if the point guard is hurt, or the point guard is not playing well, or not doing what he's supposed to do, the shooting guard has to go from his natural role of being a shooter to now he has to be a shooter and a facilitator. And sometimes that can be tough. You're being overstretched. And I think that analogy is very fitting for black women. A lot of times, I get it. There's a lot of bullshit black women have endured. I get it. But I think it's really counterproductive to point the fingers at all black men, because that just becomes, that in itself is increasingly divisive, and it's like, how are we going to move forward? This whole world has shown us literally that we have no friends. Like Dr. John Henry Clark said, we have no friends. Look at Whoopi Goldberg. I don't see none of her white friends stepping up for her. Joe Rogan did what he did. All these black people defended him, but that's a whole nother story. yeah, so all we got is us. Sorry, not sorry. But where am I going with this? Yeah, I think black women, a lot of them have become mothers, grandmothers, and they taught their daughters essentially how to endure trauma. And as a consequence of that, it's become more of a survival thing. So when they see a man, it's not about necessarily love and loyalty. It's no, this man is a utility. He is a means to an end. Remember that movie Poetic Justice when the lady, the main hairdresser lady, I think her name was V, something. She was saying, girl, she told Janet Jackson, well, her character was Justice. She told Justice, girl, you know, a man is a means to an end. You just use him and then you get another one. And you use your body to get what you want. So I think that's what happened. I think black women have unfairly, unjustly been put in a position where they've had to step outside of their feminine and play multiple roles. I got to be the provider, the nurturer, blah, blah, blah. And then welfare state comes in. Years after vagrancy laws, black code laws, welfare state comes in. Black men can't even be in the house. So what happens now? The family structure is fractured. I actually want to say we were more united probably during slavery as a family, as opposed to onset of the welfare state and now. But that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, black women have had to carry so much and be so much. So I can understand why there's anger. I can understand why there's so much rage. I can understand why there's an attitude. I can understand, again, the anger. But at some point, we have to move beyond that and come up with workable solutions. I'm a very solution-based person. Once you tell me what the problem is, I want to go on. I want to go on a journey to find solutions. I don't want to just keep talking about the problem. And it seems like some people are just cool being complacent in the problem. But yeah, a lot of our women, men too, we haven't seen healthy relationships. We've just seen people use people. You know, that's all. Use people and try to control them. But yeah, I think black women are essentially in a place now where they're saying, you know, we saw the stuff our grandmothers went through. We saw the stuff our mothers went through. We want to be provided for. We want to be pampered. We want to be the kept women. You know, we want to be able to be nurturers. You know, we're tired of being G's. You know, and I can understand that, but I'm hoping that some of our sisters understand in order for love and family to really facilitate, for love and family to really uproot and foment and become a solid bond, there has to be partnership. This can't be, I manipulate a man to get what I want, and on the other end of the spectrum, a black man has to think about how I can facilitate solid bonds as well. It takes two. You know, and a lot of times it just seems like people are caught up in commodity fetishism for the sake of just materialism. And love is not going to be sustained by that. So yeah, I know I probably sound like a broken record. At this point, I do feel like black women have, their femininity has always been constantly challenged or confronted but by some nefarious means. And I think once, I never get called this much. I think once, I believe once roles are established between the masculine and the feminine, black men and black women, we can create solidarity more in the family structure. I've always said the biggest threat to white supremacy are strong family units. I'm hoping that the healing can begin. One book that gave me great perspective was Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. And in that book, she talks about, the psychology, the healing that needs to take place, and how a lot of times we, our black men and our black women, we have to look at each other as resources unto one another, and not just something to be manipulated and twisted and contorted and controlled. But yeah, I hope you were able to glean something from this. I hope I made some sense. I'm trying to be an agent of change, be positive. I love black women. I think black women are amazing. this is where the healing is gonna, like, there has to be just a massive reckoning. All black men and all black women aren't gonna get it, but I hope enough do where we can foment solid bonds and function with compound interest to the benefit of one another. But yeah, one other thing I want to talk about. I feel like a lot of times I've seen brothers say, oh, these girls, they want to be IG models and they want all this attention and validation. And I think a lot of times with our black women, it's like that because for so long they were told they were ugly. We were told that our sisters were ugly. The joke in college was black girls put your ass to the camera, white girls put your face to the camera. So I think a lot of times our sisters their beauty has not been acknowledged, and they've always been held to like a Eurocentric standard. And even a Latino standard, and even an Asian standard. Like, there's been so many things. Like, I've met black women who they've dealt with black men, and the brother was like, "Oh man, you're really pretty. You must be mixed with something." So it's almost like the blackness alone was not enough to attribute her beauty to. She had to be mixed with something. She had to be racially ambiguous. She couldn't just be black. So yeah, I understand wanting to have your beauty acknowledged and wanting to celebrate yourself because you look good. And for so long, there's been restrictions on how you express yourself sexually. But that's a whole other conversation. I still think there needs to be wisdom in context of that. You haven't been allowed to be your own person. You've just been kind of thingified and told what you were and what you weren't. Not at your own volition. But yeah, thumbs up, give me the likes, thumbs up, give me the likes. Signing off from the Doggone, that's the homie Mac. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Be easy.